Now I was curious about the sharpness right out of the box. This is the very first cut for this knife. Ooh. Like, I love it. That's insane. Awesome. Just ridiculous. Sweet. So as I mentioned, I do have two of the T17 blades. So the original one we've taken a look at. This one has just a squared off spine, but it is completely acid stone washed. Now this one here is just a little bit different, but I thought I'd take a minute to show you the general overall package and presentation. So this is how these will come in a nice factory box. And cutting open this little sleeve here, you'll see the knife, and this comes with a nice little card. These are beautifully done. So the TFK T17, the Outer Limitless logo, and all the specifications for the knife right on the card. Making sure that everything looks exactly as it should. The sheath looks beautifully done. Same nice quality craftsmanship as on the first one. Beautifully done overall. Nothing out of place. Excellent presentation. And pulling the knife out here, you will see on this one we have a very sharp and squared off spine. So by design, the ability to potentially do some quality scraping and striking tasks a little bit different than this one. So which would you prefer? That's one of the questions, is how should this be finally designed? Should it be this acid stonewash finish here, or should it have the shiny squared off spine? Now again, looking through the details, making sure everything looks the way it should, going through all of this. It's a funny little white spot here. I'm not sure what that is. I'll probably try and wash that off. I'm not sure if it's just debris or something from working with their hands. You'll notice here that this one does not look like that, so just a little bit of a difference in the quality and the handle. But let me try and clean this up real quick and see if that will go away. So I took some dish soap and a sponge. You'll see that a bulk of it has cleaned up. I could probably do a little bit more with these grooves. Some of that residue is just inside there, but it does look significantly better. So actually, now that I look at this just a little bit closer, those white spots look like it's just simply some residue from the inside of the sheath. So if you look at the retention area there, it is exactly where this blade fits in there. So I think that's just a factor of this sitting in the sheath. But other than that, generally speaking, this knife also has beautiful fit and finish. Look at that squared off spine. That is nice and sharp and will do some good quality work. And the good thing too is that's not really an area where you put your hand. I mean, even when you're gripping that finger choil, your thumb is going right into the jimping, and it is not on the square spot of the spine, which is awesome. So I think that might be a great overall compromise, having that good quality squared off spine, but then again with the acid stonewash finish on the side of the blades, that is a pretty nice looking piece right there. Now one other minor detail worth noting, here's an ESEE6. If you look at the edge of the knife blade all the way up against the choil, you'll notice that it basically continues all the way right up to that choil. Now personally, I have never been afraid of nipping my fingers. I've never even come close. That is not something that bothers me. And same with the Boker Vox Rold. Right up to that choil, and even closer on the Boker Vox Rold, that choil is nice and deep, so your finger never really comes even close to the edge of the blade. But to me, having the blade go right up to the choil is definitely a plus. And this Arvensis, probably the sharpest edge I have right here up against the choil. Again, that secondary bevel coming all the way right up to the choil. And again, just my finger nowhere near contact, and I've never had any sort of issues, even worried about nipping my finger on that blade. But here, the T17, you'll notice that the blade edge stops just shy of the choil. Now that was kind of by design. However, I would probably like to see the choil shape just curve maybe a little bit more straight down. You'll notice that it has kind of a teardrop shape, which is nice, but it does vary quite a bit from these other blades. That is more of a semicircle, as is the Arvensis. The Boker Vox Rold is just a touch more of that teardrop shape. And again, back to the T17, which is very, very pronounced as a teardrop shape. So again, this choil could be rounded out just a little bit more, which would give you that tiny little bit more blade to work with there and allow that edge to be sharpened all the way up to the choil. One of the things that has me the most impressed with TFK is watching their progression. So here you'll see the TFK Peko in the original factory sheath. This is the sheath that TFK generally provided basically prior to working with me. Now they, at the time, when I first started working with them, saw enough of my reviews to realize that I liked a dangler sheath. So they developed essentially a brand new pouch sheath for this T7 in an effort to provide it to me for a review, and I greatly liked that about them. I was very impressed at the time that they were paying close attention to the needs and requests of their customers, and so in seeing that and watching my reviews, realizing that I would prefer a pouch style dangler sheath, to watch them build this was very, very amazing. But then to take it from here and just totally ratchet it up a notch. Look at the quality of this leather work. It is just spectacular. Beautifully done, nicely formed, the wet form, the finish, the overall fit and finish and quality of this work just continuing to evolve. So from here to here to here, just amazing to watch it unfold before our eyes. And even what they had to do to essentially build this blade, they had to get some new specialty equipment just to build a blade of this size. They had to teach themselves and learn how to do the acid stonewash finish. The general 3D milling of the handles was essentially a new idea that they had, and the first blade where they introduced it was on this T8. So really, I have watched TFK knives evolve and grow and mature over the past 9 months to the point where now they are just building some ridiculously sweet stuff. And believe me, they were before, but this now is just exquisite. So alright guys, there you have it, a tabletop look at this TFK T17. So generally speaking, I am very happy with this. I think the overall execution was wonderfully done. The general fit and finish is spectacular. Amazing work. Very, very well done. The finish on the blade is exquisite. The overall sharpness seems like it's going to be ridiculously sweet. I like the shape. I like the fit of the handle. And looking at this against all these other blades, I feel as though we have one beautiful looking piece. However, with that said, I think there's some minor tweaks that probably will need to be done. Now, I'll finalize my thoughts on this, and certainly after the field testing, I think the idea of changing the blade on the bottom and that choil just a little bit will make a difference. Modifying the handle and closing up the gap in that little indexing section of the handle would probably also make a difference. The detail on the dangler sheath, giving it the ability to simply snap it onto your belt. What do you think? Would you rather have it so that it's removable, or would you rather have it so that you could just simply snap it on your belt without taking your belt apart? So the next video you're going to see here of the TFK T17 will be this in a good quality hard field use. And I'm looking forward to thumping on this thing. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.